Hello and welcome to Quantum Conversations. My name is Steph Warner and I am a quantum living advocate for the AOScan technology by Solex. I've been an avid user of the AOScan since 2020 and I'm hosting this video series so that you can learn more about this incredible technology. The AOScan is a frequency-focused solution that is creating an entirely new paradigm in the wellness space. You will hear from practitioners who are using it every day and see for yourself how you can implement this technology in your own practice or health journey. Thanks for joining us. Be sure to like, share, and follow this channel for more AOScan content like this. Today, we are chatting with Julie Tibbles. Julie is an energy medicine practitioner, registered holistic nutritionist, emotion code practitioner, Psych K facilitator, and has numerous other certifications in the health and wellness field. Julie has been an energy medicine practitioner for over 10 years and has seen countless clients overcome various health issues using frequencies. So welcome, Julie. Thanks so much for being here.
Yeah, thanks for inviting me. This is awesome.
Absolutely. I'm excited to have you on because when you first joined our team and started using the AOScan, I was blown away. I was like, okay, this practitioner really knows what she's doing, and she is an innovator in this space. You were using it in ways that none of us had even thought was possible. So I'm really excited to dive into that. But first of all, just tell us a little bit about your background and experience with frequency technology and how that's evolved.
Yeah, for sure. So I started out as a BIE practitioner, though. So that stands for bioenergetic intolerance elimination, short form BIE. And what that uses, that modality uses, is frequencies in small vials. So we're physically holding on to the frequency and then using muscle testing. So, it was very time consuming to take all the frequencies you want to test, hold them against somebody's arm and do the muscle testing. Really effective. Once we find out what's not working with the person, we would take those frequencies, put them on a modality, and introduce those frequencies to the body using various acupressure points. Really effective. So I did that for numerous years, but I got to a point in my clinic where I was too busy. I really, really needed some help. Yet doing that sort of modality only allowed me I could be the only practitioner. So I didn't have any assistants. I decided to look for something that I could use and train an assistant on. So I found a computerized frequency modality. As you know, there's so many out there. So I was able to bring one of those into my clinic and hire an assistant to be able to run those scans for me so I could adapt and see more clients. So that's how that transitioned. And then, of course, the pandemic hit. And luckily, I had actually been doing remote sessions prior to the pandemic. So I had dabbled in that and played around with that using my other modality. And it was very, very effective. So it kind of grew by word of mouth. I didn't tell too many people about it at the time because I thought people would think I was crazy. So I didn't really tell a lot of people, but apparently I had told enough people. So, when my physical office doors closed and I started working from home, I was doing all remote sessions. At the time, I had also taken the emotion code course, and it was in one of the emotion code groups where Juliana had posted something about the AOScan. Immediately, I was like, I need that. I need that. It was just incredible. So I reached out to Juliana and she did a demo scan for me, showed me all of the features of the AOScan, and I was sold immediately. So I bought it right away and started using that in my practice, and never looked back. It's one of my favorite frequency modalities for sure, by far.
Awesome. I love that. So tell me, how are you running your professional practice now? What kind of services are you offering? Like, what is your approach to helping people and integrating AOScan?
For sure. So what I do is I see people one-on-one, just as I used to when I saw people in person. But then I also have started incorporating group programs. So now I am able to work with groups of people, which I started doing with the AOScan. I had played around with doing that with one of my other modalities, but I decided that I really wanted to be able to do it with the AO scan. So I started doing group programs with the AO scan. And then I also have a membership. So with my membership weekly, I do a group appointment, sending frequencies for my group members on monthly topics. And people are absolutely loving that membership because it keeps them feeling good week to week.
That's awesome. Yeah, and I would love for you to share a little bit more about how you started this group healing process with the AO scan, because most people who maybe have been learning about a little bit about the AO scan are thinking you scan one person, you can do that in person or remotely. But there's also this amazing capability of it that really you discovered and were the first to introduce to our team, that you can share frequencies with multiple people at a time. So how are you doing that?
Yes. So I kind of found a workaround to be able to do that. So in the AO scan, like you said, you can do appointments for individual people. And when you add a person into the AO scan, you add their profile and their photo and so on. And then you have their information on the AO scan. To be able to do a group of people, there is a section that is for objects and spaces. And so, you can add in your home office, for example, if you want to clear out the energy and put in uplifting energy into that space, you can do that. Well, I decided I wanted to add in a group of people. I thought, well, why not? Why can't I add in a group of people? So I named my group, and in the description of the space or object, I added in all my participants' names. And then for the photo, I added in the registration that showed all the participants' names. So everybody is actually in there. So when I'm broadcasting SEPIs or frequencies to people, it's addressing everybody. So of course, in the beginning, I didn't know for sure if this would work. So I ran test groups. My first test group was 10 people who had a very specific issue. I thought I really want to know if somebody feels the difference physically. So I worked with women who had lumps, bumps, and tenderness in their breasts. And I ran the program for, I can't even remember how long, it was so long ago now. It must have been 2 weeks, I think. And people reported change. They absolutely noticed a difference. And funny enough, I just spoke to one of those participants last week, and I haven't talked to her since I ran that program. And she said still she has no lumps, bumps, or tenderness in her breasts.
That's so amazing. And what a powerful way to be able to not only help multiple people at one time, but to expand your practice so that you don't just have to do one-on-one sessions, that you can have this group setting where you are helping multiple people at one time. So what has been the biggest shift you've seen in your business since you started incorporating the AO scan?
I would say the biggest shift is being able to work with people immediately. Prior to this, my other modality was very, very time consuming. Both of my other modalities were very time consuming. And I did have a virtual assistant using one of the modalities, even to do distance sessions. So that modality is at her house. So if I had a client reach out to me and want to do an appointment, they would have to wait till that specific day when my virtual assistant was working. I couldn't just go into my office and do an appointment. This AO scan is so fast that I can do an appointment anytime for anyone. So if somebody's really struggling, like I just had a phone call before this, and somebody's really struggling, their daughter was in sick kids last night and not doing well. And it's so amazing that I can say, yes, I can do a session right now today for you.
Yes, yeah. And so are you doing that by scanning them over the phone? Are you scanning them remotely? How do you typically use it?
Yes, I do it remotely. So I have the client send me a photo and all the client information, and then I input it into the AO scan and I do it remotely.
That's awesome. And how are you explaining this to your clients? Because some people or some practitioners might think I don't know if my clients are going to be on board with this. How do I explain energy or frequency technology to them? Do you find that people are just open to it?
So some of my clients were just open to it right off the bat because they've had results, and so they already trusted me. But of course, you're always having new clients and having to explain how does distance stuff work? How could that possibly work? So I explain it in the sense of how we use other technology, you know, how we unlock our car door when we're at the grocery store. We press the button on our key fob. How does it unlock just our car and not every other car in the parking lot, right? It's a frequency that's programmed to your car. So that's an example of how invisible frequencies work. And then I also explain it in the sense that kind of like ultrasound. So an ultrasound is sending in a sound wave and then giving you an image back. You know, we're sending out a frequency and receiving a reading back, telling us if something's in balance or out of balance. So it's similar to that. And there's so many technologies that we use, Zoom or our cell phone, that we don't even think about, right? And they just work. So it's along those lines.
Right, absolutely. So what is one of your favorite testimonials from using the AO scan with your clients?
I was just looking at the testimonials before we started here, and I have a super long one. And actually, it's funny because this was one of my favorite ones. It's the first thing that popped into my head, and I thought I'm going to go back and look at that testimonial. And this gentleman wrote a really long testimonial. So this is one of my favorites because normally I would have used one of my other modalities for him. He was really struggling, very, very sick. He had been in the hospital and lost 25 pounds 2 years prior to our conversation, and nobody could figure out what was wrong. He couldn't eat or drink anything, not even water, without vomiting. So he'd lost a ton of weight and slowly was able to start eating again. And again, this is before we did our appointment, but then it started again. He started vomiting, not being able to eat anything. And he said, like, I can't lose another 20 to 25 pounds. I'll be nothing. So he was really worried. So he contacted me and he wrote this in his testimonial that I was able to do his appointment same day, which was awesome. Like I said, I wasn't able to do that before. So same day I did his appointment. And he started turning around that afternoon. The nausea started to subside. He was able to eat. He's now gained weight. And that was huge for me, being able to see that, because normally I would have used my other modality as my go-to. So that really, really strengthened my not belief. I mean, I know the AO scan works, but I just needed to know that it worked just as effectively as my other devices. And it does. It's just phenomenal.
That's amazing. So when you say that you were able to see him that day, do you mean that you did like an easy scan for him, or did one of the like vitals or comprehensive scans?
Right. So I had a phone call with him, and then he sent me his photo, and I did the vitals, and I sent him some Cephies. And then I sent him Cephies again the next day, actually 3 days in a row for him, I did.
That's awesome. Yeah. And Cephi, in case you're not familiar with it, does stand for Subtle Energy Frequency Imprinter. And this is part of the AO scan program that you can broadcast frequencies to anyone, anywhere, anytime. And I kind of consider this like the set it and forget it part of the AO scan, because if you're a busy practitioner and you're serving lots of people, you can actually be broadcasting them frequencies while you are doing other things. And that is so powerful. So that's amazing that you were able to help him in that way, especially from such a dire situation. And even though these are subtle energies that we're sending, they can be so powerful. So if you could use only one of the AO scan programs in your practice, which one would you choose and why?
So that's hard. It's really difficult to choose, right? But I would have to say the Cephies, because I use the Cephies all the time. I've created so many Cephi lists that are specific to certain health complaints that people come to me for. I use the Cephies for my groups. I love that I can send Cephies, like you just said, set it and forget it. I love that I can do tune-ups for people. So if somebody's had an appointment, but they're still not quite feeling 100%, I can just say, here, I'm going to resend those Cephies again for you and give them a little boost. So I'd have to say the Cephies are my favorite.
That's awesome. Yeah, Cephi is my favorite too. I always have it on, like, for my personal use, some sort of set it and forget it list that I've created. And it never fails that I will go about my day and I'll be like, wow, I was so productive today. Or wow, my energy was amazing today. And then I'll pick up my AO scan. I'll be like, oh yeah, I was running frequencies for myself. They were working and I totally forgot about it. Cephi is an amazing, amazing program. So would you share with us a little bit about how AO scan has affected your business? Has it improved the number of people that you're able to serve? Has it improved your business revenues? I know that there's probably a lot of practitioners out there who would love to hear from that perspective.
Yeah, absolutely. It has increased revenue. I'm able to see more people because it's less time consuming doing the appointments. I'm able to do groups, which is amazing for my clients because, of course, it's more affordable, more cost efficient for them. Yet doing groups is more profitable for a practitioner, which is awesome as well. So it has definitely benefited me in those regards with regards to income for sure.
That's awesome. And maybe you could share a little bit, do you have a couple more testimonials from like the group specifically of what people have said?
Oh yeah, for sure. So I run a Stress to Zen group, and that's kind of my signature group. I run that program pretty regularly. And the reason I decided to focus on that is because the root of pretty much every health issue is stress. So I feel it's really important to address stress, and we're all under stress, right? Like I mean, even myself, even when you practice all the things that you're supposed to practice. So I have numerous testimonials and people who have repeated the program over and over and over again. People saying, you know, I felt at peace. I can accomplish more. I can approach situations with clarity, mental clarity, and not overreact, and just overall feeling better, feeling lighter. And people saying like, I can't even put my finger on it. I can't explain it. I just feel better. So I really love the Stress to Zen program. It's one of my favorites.
That's awesome. And that's one of the things that's so amazing is there are so many different ways that you can use the AO scan. Each practitioner that I talk to uses it differently. And you have gone in and created all of these different programs, different types of groups focusing on different types of issues. So if you're a practitioner that specifically focuses on something like thyroid issues or hormone balancing, you could literally create a group just focused on that and be able to support dozens of people at a time without adding a lot more work onto your plate. So what advice do you have for functional, integrative, or even energy healing practitioners who are curious about adding AO scan to their practice?
Oh, I would say absolutely give it a try, right? There's no harm in trying. It's so affordable. There's no reason not to try it, right? I think people just really need to experience it for themselves or as a practitioner, use it for clients, even if you have to just try it out and do a few complimentary sessions just so you can get the testimonials and feel confident in it. Oh, I'm so sure they will have success. Absolutely. It's worth trying.
Yep, I believe it. I agree. So what impact do you think frequency technology like the AO scan is going to have on the future of medicine?
I definitely believe it's the future of medicine. And I have for a long time, of course, because I've been in this field for so long. So I think it's a growing field and people are becoming more aware of it. And people are understanding that there is benefit and that it does help to balance the body. And by bringing the body to balance, it's going to improve your health and raise your vibrations, and there's no option but to become healthier when you're rebalancing the body like that. So I definitely think there's a place for it in the future. I think it's just going to continue to grow.
That's awesome. Well, thank you so much, Julie. I would love to share with people where they can find you online in case they want to follow you or learn more about your group programs. So why don't you just tell us your links or your social handles real quick?
Yeah, for sure. So my website, people can visit my website and book a free consultation there. So that's biealive.ca. And then the best place other than that to find me, I'd say would be Facebook. So I'm on Facebook quite a bit, and I have a Facebook group called Health with Frequencies. So you can find me there and follow along and send me messages there too.
Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing this today. It was just amazing to hear how you've been using this and implementing it, and really to help other practitioners see what is possible with AOScan technology. So really appreciate your time. And if you are interested in learning more about AOScan technology, we do have a Facebook group called Quantum Living where you can find us and learn more. Be sure to like, share, and follow our YouTube channel here so that you can stay on track with all of this AOScan content. Thanks so much and see you next time.